welcome back to another studio vlog. Today's job is to make a new black cat print. This will also then be turned into a sticker sheet and sticker pack. First up, all I'm doing is bringing in some drawings that I've done in the past and also sketching out some rough shapes of new poses, just so that I can get an idea of like the sizing and where I want each of the cats to be. This is nowhere near final. You'll see it changes quite a lot. I wanted a variety of different poses just to create some variation. And also, as this will be a sticker sheet, if you're doing a planner month with all the black cats spread across, it will just make it a bit different rather than having very samey cats. I tend to go through a couple different layers of sketches, so I'd count the first layer where I'm just like getting very rough sketches in as the first one. This is the second one. So here I'm just working out exactly like which cats I want to be fluffy, which cats I want to have like little tufts on their ears and things like that. And also just finalising their shapes and everything, because some of them do change a little bit, like this one. I decided to make the stretch a bit more exaggerated. I also find that when I'm doing completely new poses, they can take a little bit longer to sort of finalise, just because I've got no real reference for them. I quite like this standing up cat. It's quite often what my cats will do, but they're a lot fluffier than this. So here I'm just working on the actual final line drawing. I do have a glove that I would wear normally over your little finger and ring finger. However, couldn't find it, couldn't be bothered to find it. And so I'm just using my sleeve of my jumper just to make my hand not stick to the screen basically, and it sort of glides a lot smoother and you can get smoother lines. For all my line work, I do tend to use the monoline brush. I haven't altered this brush, this particular one, but I've set like sizes that I want to use so that I'm always using the same thickness of line. And here you can see it takes me a couple of tries to get like the line perfect, because I am quite a perfectionist, and if the line isn't quite right, it's going to get scrapped. I also put all of the line sections on different layers so that it makes it easier to go through and rub out the little extra lines you can see. Just here I'm just like cleaning it up, then I'll merge all the layers together just so that I can easily move the shape around. Sometimes I'll do this, sometimes I won't. On a big piece like this, I'll merge each cat onto the layer. If I was working on it individually, I would probably make a new canvas so that I could keep that just in case I needed to go back and alter it at any point. I also tend to make use of copying the layer. I quite like a lot of symmetry in some of the cats, like this one. This is what I call my chunky grey cat, because that's what it's based off of. But I just really like the shape of this one, so I'm just altering it a little bit, but mostly it's the same. I like a bit of variation between which ones are fluffy and which ones are shorter coats. So this one we're going for a fluffy, but sometimes it can take me a little moment to get the fluff quite right. Once I've finished all the line work, I make sure it's all merged down onto one layer. I then make sure that the reference option is turned on. I then make another layer underneath that reference layer, and you can drag and drop colour onto that layer and it will just fill the shape. Make sure once you're done filling that you turn the reference layer option off of your line work layer, otherwise when you're filling anything in the future it just becomes a mess. And then here I'm just choosing the eye colours and what shapes I want to do them. You also get a sneak peek into my bad hairstyle I had today, because I didn't realise when I was recording that you could see quite so much of me. I'm drawing on the noses now, it's quite difficult to see, so I haven't left too many of these in. But this long cat, I wanted to make it have a funny shaped nose. I just quite like the extreme of how long and pointy this cat is. Noses are the bit that I struggle with the most. I can never get the symmetry quite right, so quite often once I've drawn one nose that I really like, I will just manipulate it and then trace it on a different one, just to make my life a bit easier and not stress so much over it. You can see there that I was just adding in some shadows just to make them look a little less flat. That was with the Tinderbox brush. And then we added in whiskers in a mid-grey. I decided that there was too much gaps between each of the cats because I wanted to go with a nice bright yellow background, but there was just too many gaps, so I'm just resizing and shifting some of the cats just to fill up a bit more room. The aim for these prints is to make them A6 in size, so I'm not worried too much about having huge amounts of detail on them. However, I do want enough detail that when I size them up for stickers that they have a little bit of texture and whatnot. So the shading brush that I've used has a tiny bit of texture on the edges of it. So now I'm printing the prints. I have put 4 on a sheet just to save a bit of paper because they're A6, so you can fit 4 on perfectly. And you could also see the amount of cat hair I have on there because my cats absolutely love just sitting on top of it. I'm sure 4 kilos of cat won't do my printer any damage at all. Next up is to trim them. You know, I wish it would take just this amount of time to trim. Each print gets signed on the back and also a little title. So this one I've just called Black Cats because I feel like it's quite self-explanatory. And you can get a bit of a close-up. I really like the print quality, and I'm really glad with the printer that I picked. Because my prints are all going to be self-serve, I've decided to put them in little cello pouches. These ones are biodegradable. I did then go on to make the Black Cats a sticker sheet and sticker pack. They'll be up on my Etsy shortly if you're interested in them, and I'll also be taking them to markets. I've also created other prints in the range, such as this floral dinos. Did someone say treats? Not Easy Being Perfect, and Celestial Cat. That's all for today. That pretty much took me the whole day to draw and print. Bye for now.